Hello, everyone. Welcome to Context Unlocked. Just going to allow people to trickle in. As you join us, please feel free to type where you are joining us from in the chat. If you start and keep it going as people come in, they can feel free to also continue putting where they're from in the chat. And also, just to shout this out, if you just so happen to be watching us live, or if you're watching the live stream afterwards, go ahead and share this with someone. The more people that can see, hopefully can learn a little thing or two, the better. Welcome again to Context Unlocked for one final time. I cannot believe we are at the end of this mini-series. And they are hosted by me. I'm Trinity Williams. I am the Policy and Action Assistant with Sojourners and SojoAction, working at the intersection of faith and social justice. And SojoAction is the mobilizing and policy department of Sojourners. And I decided to host these webinars as a person that just so happens to have a degree in international relations, and also particularly in line with this one, I have another degree in Latin American studies. I'm a great music lover, and I'm a really, really, really big Bad Bunny fan. So this is a hopefully exciting webinar. And the goal overall of Context Unlocked is to strive to fill the historical knowledge gaps on some of the most pressing foreign affairs issues, connecting them to what we are seeing in the day-to-day. For many of us who live in empire or who were raised in empire, this also means largely being educated by empire, which leaves major, again, knowledge gaps, albeit intentionally, in people's understanding of foreign affairs. So that being said, if you gain nothing else from what I say this evening, I hope that you learn something. So getting into today's what we'll cover, as always, I have to start out with the disclaimer. This topic was selected from me doing some internal brainstorming along with the feedback received from our previous Context Unlocked. This was a very highly requested topic for anyone who was there last time. We did the Mentimeter. Puerto Rico was very large. And this one will be on the longer side, but will hopefully remain engaging. So stay tuned also for some reflection questions at the end, just to get a little bit get the gears turning on the parallels that we are discussing today. And as always, history is a nuance-filled, complex, and violent thing to discuss. And these educational webinars are designed to inform, but it is nearly impossible for me to uncover the full depth and breadth of such complex histories that lead to the present in about an hour or so, especially with two intertwined complex histories. For all interested, additional resources and answers to any questions placed in the chat throughout will be sent out to all registrants, even those who are unable to attend with us tonight, so this information can remain readily available for you. And please ask any and all questions that you may have. And for the agenda, we have, as always, the terms that we go over, the helpful terminology, the why now, the song introduction, and a lyrical historical analysis. And then we're going to tie it all together in the end as we can. As always, getting into a little bit of helpful terminology. They are related to either the song or just some of other today's content. So to start, the difference between a territory and a commonwealth, because Puerto Rico is a territory. It used to be like defined as a territory, but it is now defined as a commonwealth. And so the difference is the territory are insular areas under U.S. sovereignty that are neither states nor federal districts. They are governed by Congress under its plenary powers. This includes Guam, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, a commonwealths are a specific subcategory of these territories that have a more developed and self-governing relationship with the federal government based on like a mutual covenant. So the big difference is like the mutual agreement part of it. This includes Puerto Rico and the Northern Mariana Islands. Now, Hibaro, those are Puerto Rican countryside farmers that primarily use self-subsistence farming and traditional farming methods. And what you will hear later, the Lelerai is a traditional lyrical scat utilized by the Jibaros in Puerto Rico. Also, before I move on to the next slide, for whatever reason, the photos on the like Puerto Rico right why now and Hawaii why now are not loading. So it's unfortunate, but these slides will also be shared, and in that version of the slides, they will be there. Now I'll get an introduction for our song Lo que le pasó a Hawaiʻi. The song is the 14th track on Bad Bunny's 8th studio album, Debí Tirar Más Fotos, which translates to I Should Have Taken More Pictures. And this album is a groundbreaking reflection on culture, family, memory, love, and heartbreak. One of my favorite albums. And the album also has quite the moving short film associated with it. And I want to take the time to share it so people can watch it on their own time. So I'm dropping the link for that in the chat at this moment. You can feel free to watch on your own time. And between this album and 2020's release of Un Verano Sin Ti, Bad Bunny put himself and so many other modern-day reggaeton artists on the global stage, and Bad Bunny has become one of the highest streamed artists in the world. Lo que le pasó a Hawaii is a song that discusses very bluntly the sad reality that Puerto Rico is facing at the hands of U.S. imperialism, corruption, over-tourism, and gentrification, though all the latter terms are related to the former. The song itself, Bad Bunny was inspired to write from a dream that he had, and it was performed by trailblazer Ricky Martin in the incredible Super Bowl 60, more affectionately referred to as the Benito Bowl, with Bad Bunny's full name being Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. Lo que le pasó a Hawaii translates to what happened to Hawaii in a stated format, and the chorus discusses the themes that happened and are continuing to happen to Hawaii at the hands of imperialism, almost as a means of bringing awareness to Hawaii while providing a warning about Puerto Rico. I have created a document with these lyrics of the song, and I translated them to English on the second page of the document. And I'm sharing them with you all, so as we listen to the song, anyone who doesn't speak Spanish is able to follow along, and anyone who does can also follow along. So here's the document. As the video plays, I will translate to English what is on the screen and place it in the chat, as Bad Bunny has left some crucial facts about animals that are indigenous to Puerto Rico that are in danger of extinction. Follow along with the lyric translation, or if you know Spanish, maybe even close your eyes as we reflect on this song and begin the learning portion of our time together this evening.
Esto fue un sueño que yo tuve. Ella se ve bonita, aunque a veces le vaya mal. En los ojos una sonrisa, aguantándose llorar. La espuma de sus orillas parecieran de champán. Son alcohol para las heridas, para la tristeza bailar. Son alcohol para las heridas, porque hay mucho que sanar. De monte adentro no se puede respirar. Las nubes están más cerca, con Dios se puede hablar. Si oye el jíbaro llorando, otro más que se marchó. No quería irse volando, pero el corrupto lo echó. Y no se sabe hasta cuándo. Quieren quitarme el río y también la playa. Quieren el barrio mío y que abuelita se vaya. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la Lola, que no quiero quiero que hagan contigo lo que le pasó a Hawái. Cuidado, Luis, cuidado. Aquí nadie quiso irse y quien se fue sueña con volver. Si algún día me tocara, que mucho me va a doler. Otra jíbara luchando, una que no se dejó, no quería irse tampoco y en la isla se quedó. Y no sé, sabe hasta cuándo. Quieren quitarme el río y también la playa. Quieren al barrio mío y que tus hijos se vayan. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la lolay. Que no quiero que hagan contigo lo que le pasó a Hawái. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la lolay. Que no quiero que hagan contigo.
As a disclaimer, I do not own the rights to this music. Please do not copyright strike us. We are just trying to learn. So, just to start us off this evening with the learning portion, with what we have begun to learn from this song on the taking of land, water, homes from which the land belongs to, we can use this as a foundation of the discussion, lo que le pasó a Hawaii. So now, what happened to Hawaii? Here is the history of Hawaii. So, beginning with Kamehameha I, also known as Kamehameha the Great, born in the mid-18th century, we learn of the conquests that led to the then unification of all of the Hawaiian Islands. He also began the most documented dynasty of royal rulers, being the Kamehameha dynasty itself. When the former king, Kalaniʻuokalani, dies in 1782, the islands were divided and left to Kamehameha and his cousin, Kiwalao, to rule. Later the same year, however, after seeds of jealousy had been sown amongst the two of them, a dispute led to a full war amongst them. Kiwalao was also killed in this war, and as a result, Kamehameha set out on a journey to unite all of the islands in conquest. He was successful and wholly undisputed across the islands as the ruler. Kamehameha set governors for each island, created laws for less harsh governing practices amongst chiefs, and transformed the economy, while protecting the islands during the heightened period of European exploration of the time. Following his death in 1819, Kamehameha the Great's first son, Kamehameha II, held the throne very briefly from 1824 until he died from measles on a trip to London. Important to note at this time as well that a number of American Protestant missionaries began missions to Hawaii, trying to convert Hawaiians to Christianity, especially members of the royal family. Kamehameha II was succeeded by his brother, Kamehameha III, who took the throne at only 10 years old. As he aged, he took many crucial initiatives for the Hawaiian governmental structure. In June of 1839, both the Hawaiian Declaration of Rights and the Edict of Toleration were created, and a constitution the following year. Under him, a Hawaiian legislative body and a Supreme Court were created, and a recognition of Hawaiian independence was given from the United States and Britain. Moving on to Kamehameha IV, who's another very important leader within this story, who took the throne at the height of calls for the annexation to the United States, largely championed by the missionaries at the time. Kamehameha IV was very determined to protect his home. He established the Church of England in Hawaii to shift the balance of foreign relations away from the United States and began by removing American members from legislative bodies. He did crucial work in bolstering the Hawaiian economy and was responsible for Hawaiians and Puerto Rican Hawaiians to receive free healthcare. There was one final ruler left in the Kamehameha dynasty, Kamehameha V. Kamehameha V was the brother of Kamehameha IV, and he ruled with a strong hand, rewrote the Constitution, and began bringing Japanese laborers that would tirelessly work on sugarcane and pineapple plantations for generations to come. You can read more about that history at the link that I am going to drop into the chat, as it is very extensive and deserves to be discussed as well. With his death, he died unmarried and with no descendants, effectively ending the Kamehameha dynasty. The legislature moved to elect the next king, and it was between William Charles Lunalilo and David Kalakaua, and was won by Lunalilo, but he passed away the following year. This brings us to the story of Kalakaua and Liliʻuokalani. And now we will discuss this, and I have a brief video to show.
I understand our legacy. Our murals depict
to support the education of Hawaiian girls. After her younger brother, David Kalakaua, became Hawaii's king, he made her heir apparent in 1877.
But the white business class ended up gaining much of the economic power in the islands, not only the plantations, but also the churches, the schools, and many other cultural institutions. More unsettlingly, Liliʻuokalani started to realize that her brother's cabinet was filled with very corrupt businessmen.
In 1887, white businessmen forced her brother the king to sign a new constitution that weakened the monarchy and removed the right of native Hawaiians to vote unless they were landowners. It became known as the Bayonet Constitution.
Having matured their plans in secret, the men of foreign birth rose one day en masse and forced the king to sign a constitution which practically took away the franchise from the Hawaiian race.
When her brother died suddenly in 1891, Liliʻuokalani assumed the throne, becoming the first and only sovereign queen of Hawaii. With support from the majority of native Hawaiians, she attempted to overturn the Bayonet Constitution.
The constitution she was putting forward was one that would have restored voting rights to native Hawaiians and would have increased her powers as a constitutional monarch.
But the white businessmen and politicians were already plotting her overthrow.
Queen Liliʻuokalani became the target of what can only be described as a vicious smear campaign against her in the U.S. press. The San Francisco Examiner described her as a black pagan queen who wanted nothing short of absolute monarchy.
A trap was sprung upon me by those who stood waiting, as a wild beast watches for his prey.
January of 1893, a battalion of U.S. Marines marched through downtown Honolulu. They had a cannon and machine guns. Within 48 hours, the Kingdom of Hawaii had been overthrown, and a provisional government led by U.S. businessmen was in charge. It was essentially a bloodless coup.
Queen Liliʻuokalani traveled to the U.S. to appeal to the President and Congress to restore her to the throne.
It would be very, very unusual for a woman of color to demand a meeting with not only the president, but many other people in Washington at the time. And so while she might have presented as a demure woman in Victorian-era modest clothing, she also contained within her the fierceness of the native Hawaiian goddess.
I would undertake anything for the benefit of my people. It is for them that I would give my last drop of blood.
President Grover Cleveland agreed the Queen should be reinstated. But Congress rejected that recommendation, and on July 4, 1894, American businessman Sanford Dole, whose family soon founded Dole Food Company, declared himself Hawaii's president and placed the Queen under house arrest for 8 months.
The overthrow caused trauma not only of a political sort, but a spiritual and an ethical sort, because we sought to bring our Queen back and reinstate her through laws and policies that we counted on. We even had a petition of over 37,000 signatures. So it's like being left with nothing except a shell of who we were. So it's taken a long time to rebuild. Liliʻuokalani is the reason we all do the work we do. And there are many of us everywhere, in education, in health, in advocacy for land. We are doing the work of the Queen today, bringing the culture back so that Hawaiians can thrive.
Liliʻuokalani was released in 1895. She spent the rest of her life advocating for Native Hawaiian rights and culture. In 1909, she sued the U.S. government to return the 1.75 million acres of Hawaiian royal lands it had seized, but was unsuccessful.
She passed in 1917, giving all of her monies to the children of Hawaii. You've got Gandhi, Mandela, King, all of these leaders. But before all of them, you had a woman in the far-flung Pacific who is a leader for all in terms of peace, social justice, and righteous action for her people.
Hawaii became the 50th state in 1959. In 1993, the U.S. Congress issued an apology acknowledging that the overthrow of Queen Liliʻuokalani had been illegal.
Never cease to act because you fear you may fail. The true secret is to know your own worth. It will carry you through many dangers.
This truly is a horrific and silently untold story on how the United States got its 50th state, issuing nothing more than a formally written apology for completely removing Hawaiian sovereignty and autonomy. Additionally, I have this U.S. government perspective from the State Department archives, and I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, America's annexation of Hawaii in 1898 extended U.S. territory into the Pacific and resulted from economic integration and the rise of the United States as a Pacific power. For most of the 1800s, leaders in Washington were concerned that Hawaii might become a part of the European nation's empire. During the 1830s, Britain and France forced Hawaii to accept treaties giving them economic privileges. In 1842, Secretary of State Daniel Webster sent a letter to Hawaiian agents in Washington affirming U.S. interests in Hawaii and opposing annexation by any other nation. He also proposed to Great Britain and France that no nation should seek special privileges or engage in further colonization of the islands. In 1849, the United States and Hawaii concluded a treaty of friendship that served as a basis of official relations between the parties. A key provisioning spot for American whaling ships, fertile ground for American Protestant missionaries, and a new source of sugarcane production, Hawaii's economy became increasingly integrated with the United States. An 1875 trade reciprocity treaty further linked the two countries, and U.S. sugar plantation owners from the United States came to dominate the economy and politics of the islands. When Queen Liliʻuokalani moved to establish a stronger monarchy, Americans under the leadership of Samuel Dole deposed her in 1894. The planters believed that a coup and annexation by the United States would remove the threat of a devastating tariff on their sugar, also spurred them to action. The administration of President Benjamin Harrison encouraged the takeover and dispatched sailors from the USS Boston to the islands to surround the royal palace. The U.S. Minister to Hawaii, John L. Stevens, worked closely with the new government. Dole sent a delegation to Washington in 1894 seeking annexation, but the new president, President Grover Cleveland, opposed annexation and tried to restore the Queen. Dole declared Hawaii an independent republic. Spurred by the nationalism aroused by the Spanish-American War, the United States annexed Hawaii in 1898 at the urging of President William McKinley. Hawaii was made a territory in 1900, and Dole became its first governor. Racial attitudes and party politics in the United States deferred statehood until a bipartisan compromise linked Hawaii's status to Alaska, and both became states in 1959. I thought that perspective was interesting. Now moving on to the impact of the Doles in Hawaii. Sanford Dole dons a last name that I'm sure you are all familiar with, and this is largely because of his cousin, James Dole. Following Dole's illegal overthrow of Queen Liliʻuokalani, stealing Hawaiian indigenous sovereignty, James Dole planted pineapples and opened plantations across Hawaii. He destroyed Hawaiian ecosystems in the process. Pineapples are not native to Hawaii. Indigenous food systems, biodiversity, and the economy they cultivated were completely torn apart. Laborers were overworked, underpaid, and mistreated under his watch as he opened canneries and amassed profits. Pineapples, and canned pineapples especially, became a key export for Hawaii, and the demand in the mainland United States skyrocketed. Here's a quote from The Dark Side of the Pineapple, How Dole's Pineapple Industry Exploited Hawaii's Land and People, closing. Dole used Hawaiian culture and its desirability as a tropical exotified paradise to market his product to Americans. Continuing the symbol of the pineapple as an object of opulence and leisure, he fused the exoticism of Hawaii with the fruit itself as a delectable, irresistible fruit ripe for picking. This not only perpetuated stereotypes about Native Hawaiians and their culture, but it justified the continual colonization and erasure of Hawaiian sovereignty through their portrayal as less civilized than the white settlers who stole their land, overthrew their queen, and profited from their culture. I'll also be sharing that piece as a resource after the session. Dole plantations and industrialized canneries also enacted racist labor practices, with white workers receiving managerial positions, leaving Asian immigrant and Hawaiians in hard labor. Moving to the issues of today, over-tourism and gentrification have ransacked the islands. Hotel and resort chains, restaurants, and the continued commodification and broad marketing of Hawaiian culture have created a massive draw globally for constant visitation and exploitation of an already exploited land and people. Native Hawaiians were reported to make 13.6% less than the average tourism industry worker. Additionally, many tourists come with great disrespect for the land, disregard, or general ignorance for the history of its people, and many have caused tangible damage to the environment itself. One of the worst parts about the tourism in this context is those who decide to come back permanently. People have begun buying up homes in Hawaii, causing a crisis we see widely across this country, gentrification, on a mass scale. The average price of a single-family home in Hawaii is $1 million. The cost of living in Hawaii is 149% higher than the national average. 54% of homeowners in Hawaii are not Native Hawaiians, and there are currently 36,000 properties in Hawaii listed on Airbnb, meaning some homes are purchased for these steep costs and are not even being resided in all the time. Additionally, 60% of condos and apartments are sold to either investors or second homeowners. So what does this mean for Native Hawaiians? Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders more broadly account for 10% of the population, yet are 35% of the unhoused population. These unhoused communities are also severely neglected and experience disease on an overwhelming level. It did not need to be this way. Hawaiians deserve their land back, the ability to own homes on their own land, and should never have had their environment destroyed for the sake of white greed. Before moving to discuss Puerto Rico and finding parallels amongst their histories, I want to play the famous and one of my personal favorite written songs by Queen Liliʻuokalani, Aloha. The first time I listened to it after learning these histories, it moved me to tears. And again, the disclaimer, I do not own the rights to Now, I'm moving to discuss what's happening in Puerto Rico and finding the parallels of this history with Hawaii. Beginning with, briefly, its pre-colonial history, the Taino people were the indigenous people of Puerto Rico and more islands such as Jamaica and Hispaniola. They had a rich culture, language, and spiritual practices, and they were skilled workers, dancers, artists, and so much more. With European arrival and conquest in the 15th and 16th centuries, the Taino people were forcefully worked to death, resistance punishable by death, and killed by diseases that the Spanish brought with them. Their culture was violently watered down, and even the Taino identity was told and thought to be completely eradicated. Alongside the later West African identity in Puerto Rico as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery, the heritage was denied and desired by the oppressors and white supremacy to be forgotten altogether. However, Puerto Ricans, along with many other Caribbean people, have fought for reclamation of this historically complex, resilient, and vibrant fabric of their culture, tracing words, historical sites, foods, music, dance styles, and genetics back to their Taino and West African roots. Even the island's original name, Borinquen, is boasted proudly, and the Boricua identity is strong. Moving to the making of the Puerto Rico of today, as the Kamehameha dynasty in Hawaii was fighting away calls for annexation from the United States, Puerto Rico in the 1830s was under the rule of Spanish imperialism. As the Spanish royal systems were experiencing instability, Puerto Rico felt every aspect of quick political adjustment and back and forth as a result. At this point as well, the coffee and sugarcane industries became central to its plantation economies, which, of course, were reliant on slave labor by West Africans and indigenous people. In the journey to autonomy from Spain begins with the Grito de Lares, which was the first coordinated pro-independence movement against Spain in 1868, which translates to the Cry of Lares. Labeled an insurrection, hundreds of rebels went through a number of towns to liberate them under the idea of a free republic of Puerto Rico. Eventually, the Spanish arrested all who were involved and convicted them all to death penalty sentences. They later were given amnesty by José Laureano Sanz and released in 1869, the year following. Fear of further revolution, the Spanish began imposing some reforms and abolished slavery in 1873. In the 1880s, Román Baldotorio de Castro pushed for Puerto Rican autonomous rule, and the suppression of this movement was experienced and it only strengthened it, leading to the 1897 establishment of the Autonomy Party. The government was now autonomous in nature but parliamentary in practice and structure, still with royal Spanish representation and oversight. This representation held the power to pull the plug on this given autonomy at any time. Moving to the Spanish-American War, this autonomous government was interrupted and unable to be really truly put into practice when Puerto Rico was given to the United States following the Spanish-American War of 1898, along with Cuba and the Philippines. The U.S. acquisition of Puerto Rico was seen to be useful for agricultural profit and a place for its warships. They had their wish of a naval presence within the Caribbean as its next step on its imperialistic mission. Under U.S. rule, Puerto Ricans experienced very little representation in government, and in 1909, the Olmstead Act gave the U.S. president a direct role in all of the affairs of Puerto Rico. During World War I, for fear of German ships in the Caribbean and demand for more rights, the Jones Act gave Puerto Ricans the U.S. citizenship. However, despite promising more, it didn't do very much more beyond that. These calls for representation and self-determination still remained unanswered. Many of the early U.S. imposed governors of Puerto Rico were widely focused on Americanizing the institutions, the language, the youth, and the politics, with removed concern for its autonomy. Moving to sugarcane, Charles Herbert Allen was the first civilian governor of the island, but after just 17 months of holding this position, he left to take a leadership role at the then American Sugar Refining. He then brought this company to Puerto Rico, which would later be renamed Domino Sugar, which I know we are all familiar with. He used U.S. government power to get everything he needed: land, railroad construction, subsidies, rights to water, and tax advantages. And after Puerto Rico was officially ruled a territory of the U.S., it effectively meant that minimum wage requirements and bargaining rights were no longer centralized, given even more room for exploitation of laborers. By 1930, 54% of land that could be used to plant crops and be worked on was occupied by sugar. As a result, the biodiversity was effectively destroyed, and still Puerto Rico needs to import 85% of its food. There was no more farming of coffee, tobacco, and many other crops. And lastly, as the Great Depression hit, the US turned its attention away from Puerto Rico, leaving it pretty defenseless against environmental disasters and hurricanes. Next, the quote from the song, No suelten la bandera o olviden el Aloha. The Puerto Rican flag is centered around the pride of the island, but its history reveals revolution, resistance to imperialism, and global Puerto Rican identity and culture persisting regardless of location. Starting during the aforementioned Grito de Lares, the first Puerto Rican flag was instituted during this time. Similar to the Dominican flag, it represents the push for the Republic of Puerto Rico in 1868, and that is seen on the top left. As Puerto Ricans remained in partnership with Cubans for their independence from Spain, those involved in the movement created the Puerto Rican flag as a relative of the Cuban flag, with the colors inverted and the azul clarito, which is the lighter blue. However, as a result of U.S. legislation in 1948, La Ley de Mordaza, or the gag law, was passed to suppress any calls for Puerto Rican independence, making flying the Puerto Rican flag or even talking about Puerto Rican independence illegal. And that flag is represented on the bottom. When the law was repealed, the new flag that was set in stone had a new, darker blue, one that was closer in color to match the same blue on the US flag. And you can see that on the top right. Moving to discuss what Puerto Rico is currently facing. The economy is one subject. For decades, job opportunities have begun diminishing. The economy revolves around the US and those within the Puerto Rican elite, and not around Puerto Ricans. It is becoming increasingly expensive to live in Puerto Rico over the course of the past decades. And as a result, 6.1 million Puerto Ricans live in the United States, nearly double the amount of the population within the island itself. Because of how U.S. economy-centered Puerto Rico is, in 2016, Puerto Rico was over $70 billion in debt, and repayment legislation and the programs have not all been very functional. And many of these programs that are working to ease the debt have been searching for money and caused cuts to other very crucial programs like educational or other public serving resources, which is increasingly unfair to Puerto Ricans. Additionally, over-tourism, housing, and gentrification are a major issue, and I would be remiss to discuss Puerto Rico and not discuss the detrimental effect Hurricane Maria had on the island's infrastructure and how the lack of support furthered this damage. In terms of housing in Hurricane Maria, thousands of homes were destroyed during this hurricane, causing even more people to leave the island. On the flip side of this, with this exodus, coupled with Act 20 and Act 22 legislation, they were set to attract investors to the island, which caused an imbalance to who was owning property in Puerto Rico. Additionally, associated with these acts of legislation, tax exemptions further make them attractive to people who are not native to the island to want to move there. And additionally, because of tourism, external large hotel chains and resorts are beginning to privatize more coastlines, more beaches, and other parts of the environment. Now, with that, let us return to lo que le pasó a Hawaii. And I hope that after that, you were able to see some of the similarities as Bad Bunny intended. I have some written reflection questions to consider. Feel free to write them down, take a photo of them, journal them, or even answer some of them in the chat as you feel led to. And I'm going to just replay the song so we can reflect on the lyrics after what we have just gone over, and maybe you can find even more parallels and things that reflected to you during this presentation. So feel free to answer these questions while I replay the video.
Esto fue un sueño que yo tuve. Ella se ve bonita, aunque a veces le vaya mal. En los ojos una sonrisa, aguantándose llorar. La espuma de sus orillas parecieran de champán. Son alcohol para las heridas, para la tristeza bailar. Son alcohol para las heridas, porque hay mucho que sanar. En el verde monte adentro no se puede respirar. Las nubes están más cerca, con Dios se puede hablar. Se oye el jíbaro llorando, otro más que se marchó. No quería irse por Lando, pero el corrupto lo echó. Y no se sabe hasta cuándo. Quieren quitarme el río y también la playa. Quieren el barrio mío y que abuelita se vaya. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la Aloha. Que no quiero que hagan contigo lo que le pasó a Hawái.
Cuidado, Luis, cuidado.
Aquí nadie quiso irse y quien se fue sueña con volver. Si algún día me tocara, que mucho me va a doler. Otra jíbara luchando, una que no se dejó. No quería irse tampoco y en la isla se quedó. Y no se sabe hasta cuándo. Quieren quitarme el río y también la playa. Quieren el barrio mío y que tus hijos se vayan. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la Aloha. Que no quiero que hagan contigo lo que le pasó a Hawái. No, no suelten la bandera ni olviden la Aloha. Que no quiero que hagan contigo.
Thanks so much to those of you who took this time to reflect. I'll also reshare some of these questions as we continue, and we share this out afterwards, so you can continue to reflect as you wish with time. And thank you for the activity in the chat. I really appreciate seeing your thoughts, and also some of the little feedback I'm seeing. I appreciate it greatly. As we move towards closing us out, I want to read an excerpt from one of the hymnals written by Queen Liliʻuokalani, that being from the Queen's Prayer. And it just says, "Behold not with malevolence the sins of man, but forgive and cleanse. And so, O Lord, protect us beneath your wings, and let peace be our portion now and forevermore." Here are just a couple ways to stay connected with us. If you want to receive our weekly newsletter, which is the Truth in Action Roundup, you can do so with the link sojo.net/TARU. You can also see some more of our upcoming events at sojo.net/events. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody so much for coming. I really had a lot of fun overall throughout all of these Context Unlocked webinar series sessions that we've had, but especially with this one. This subject is very, very near and dear to my heart. So I sincerely hope that you learned something. Again, any and all questions that were put in the chat, we will be looking into and giving you a full answer in our recap email that we send out. But I'm so grateful for all of you who came, and I hope that share it. I'm going to again take this time to plead that we don't get any copyright strikes, because we are really just learning. We want to continue to spread this learning through music with everyone. So again, thank you all so much for coming.